Hey everybody, Eagle Run 23. I just wanted to do a little update on some gun control and where that is and kind of my opinion on some of those things. I want to preface this before we watch this video. I want to preface this by saying we realistically need to be aware of these and we need to be vigilant. If you want to just Google who your representative is, make sure you know who that person is and make sure that they have heard from you, in the last 30 days. That's really the best thing that we kind of can do. And I know that's kind of nothing, but if you haven't done that before, if several of us that haven't done that before start doing that, maybe it'll have an impact. I don't have a ton of faith in that, but I can tell you one thing. Gun control bills will go absolutely nowhere in America. And while we need to be fearful of this, we can also rest assured that it's simply not going to happen. We kind of get scared every couple of years about this and the different things. And I have no doubt that there could be a radical enough Congress in general that they could pass some of this stuff. But where the rubber meets the road on that, it's not going to happen. It just won't happen. So let's watch this little clip here.
The bill is passed.
The U.S. House of Representatives on Thursday approved a pair of gun control bills as Democrats seized upon a shifting political landscape that they said improved chances for enacting new laws after years of failed attempts. The first measure passed the House 227 to 203 with support from 8 Republicans. It would close a long-standing loophole in gun laws by expanding background checks to those purchasing weapons over the internet, at gun shows, and through certain private transactions.
So there's a lot of conversation in this little clip about closing a loophole about a background check at a gun show or an online or a private transaction. Those of you that are watching my video, I'm sure, are very aware that there is no loophole in the gun show situation. If you're buying a firearm at a gun show from a dealer, you have to pass a background check. There's no loophole there. If you're buying a firearm from a private individual, then that is just a piece of property being sold, and there's no background check there. Whether or not where you fall on that, I think you guys know where, I know where most of you guys fall on that. The other part is the background check on online sales. I don't know who these people are that think that you can go to, target.com and order a 9mm. That's not how that works. And I know you guys know this, but it's silly that these people are our elected leaders and they still think that you can order a gun and have it shipped to your house. I'm sure all of you watching this have all purchased a gun online before. It goes to an FFL, you pass a background check before it goes into your hands, and that's the end of that. It's not that big of a deal. I don't understand where's the loophole there that we need to close? I don't see it.
Bill is passed. The second bill passed 219 to 210 with 2 Republicans supporting it. It would give authorities 10 business days for federal background checks to be completed before a gun sale can be licensed. Currently, it's 3 days.
If you haven't bought a firearm or if you haven't done it in a while, let's review here and make sure that you know what the current thing is and what they're proposing. When you fill out that form, they send it in. Most of us get we get an instant return and we can buy a gun. The 3-day, 10-day, 30-day thing is a little confusing to some people. When you fill out that form, most of us get an instant return. I have a concealed handgun license. I'm an instant return. Many of you guys are instant returns. If there's something weird that they can't do the instant return, currently the law is that they have 3 days to compile their information and see if there's some reason why you should not be able to buy a firearm. Whatever, of course that's unconstitutional, but that's not what we're talking about right now. This whole thing is unconstitutional. So what they're wanting to do is give them more time to make a case that you should not be able to get a firearm. Again, most of us are going to be instant, but they're wanting more time. Now, the whole reason that this came into play was there was a shooting where someone there was a shooting where someone bought a gun and they didn't get an instant return. The 3 days came up. I guess the FBI wasn't able to put together a case, so they sold the gun because that's what the law is. And it turns out that this was a bad guy and he did something stupid with the gun. So they think that maybe this one example, could have stopped someone from getting a gun. Realistically, I guess I don't have too much of a problem with that. And given the current climate, I think that that's a reasonable way to fall on that. Obviously, all of this, gun control is unconstitutional because there's, shall not be infringed part that you and I all agree on. So I think it's a bit of a moot point when you're talking about the Constitution, but the other side of that is whether it's a couple days or not, that's the system that we have. Giving the FBI more time, maybe that's a concession that we could make. I don't know. Right now, you get 3 days and they want more time. So, all right, let's listen to the awesome Nancy Pelosi here.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said bipartisan support for the bills would lead the drumbeat of change across America.
If you're afraid to vote for gun violence prevention because of your political survival, understand this: the political survival of none of us is more important than the survival of our children.
Republicans
Oh my goodness. I don't know why she wants to bring children into this. Children in general aren't a big victim of any sort of firearm violence. Obviously, it's happened before, but it's weird to bring the children in right there. I don't really understand that. And then she talks about the political side of that. If you're afraid to vote for gun control because of a political well, I think she's missing the point. If a senator is not voting for gun control, that's because his constituents don't want that. I don't know why she's lost the connection that she's only there because someone voted for her to be there. So she carries her voters' proxies. Now, let's talk about the people who are electing Nancy Pelosi. Good Lord. But if you're a Republican or a Democrat and your people in your area want you to not vote for this stuff, that's not a political survival situation. That's doing what the people who elected you to do, doing that job.
opposing the bills argued that the legislation would not make streets safer and would infringe upon the constitutional right to bear arms. President Joe Biden is a supporter of expanded gun control measures. But the legislation will face a tougher battle in the U.S. Senate, where Democrats and Republicans are split 50-50. The bills would likely need 60 votes to pass.
Yeah, there's not a gun control bill that exists that I've seen that would actually have any impact on the streets as to impacting crime. Criminals don't really consult the latest gun control law whenever they're choosing to commit a crime, and it's weird to think that there could be a law that's passed that would actually prevent some of that. I feel like that's a weird safety to have, and you have to remember safety is an illusion. All the time, safety is an illusion. It's an illusion that your airbags are going to save you in a crash. They might, and it's probably going to make it better, but that's an illusion that we put on to make us feel better. And from a seatbelt to all sorts of different rules and different things that happen from the workplace to on the streets, all of that stuff. Safety is an illusion. At the end of the day, you're in charge of you and the people around you, and you're in charge of that safety. There's no bill that's going to pass that's going to prevent anything bad from happening. It just doesn't work like that. And it's weird. It's actually weird to think that people think that they could pass a law and it would fix something like that. And that makes no sense to me. All right. Well, we're trying a couple new things out here. And again, I don't have any fancy software where I can put that up on the screen there. So we're just watching it on the iPad. I don't know if we'll keep doing these. We'll kind of see how they go. Let me know if you like them there in the comments. All right, Eagle Run 2-3. We'll see you next time.